Hello, everyone, and welcome. I think we'll give everyone just a minute to join, and we'll get started. Right, everyone, we've got quite a lot of things to cover today, so I think we'll get started. The webinar is getting recorded, so if anyone joins late, they can always come back to the beginning. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. Today's session is all about turning the data you already have into something more useful, something more personal, something more efficient, and something more human. So we're going to look at how AI agents powered by Salesforce and by Hapi can help you do exactly that, and do that across services, operations, loyalty, and ownership. And most importantly, we'll keep it practical. So Doug will walk us through a demo. You'll see how it works, and we'll share some tips on what has worked, what hasn't worked, and how to actually move from pilots to real outcomes. So let's get started. My name is Greg Wasowski. I lead consulting and strategy at Aquiva Labs. We are a Summit SI partner of Salesforce and also work with ISV applications that form part of Hapi Exchange. We do a lot of work in the hospitality sector. And I'm here today with Leo and Doug. Leo, I'll get you introduce yourself.
Thank you, Greg. Yeah, Leo Acosta. I'm the director of product at Hapi. I manage the Hapi Guest product, which is our CRM solution we'll be talking about a little bit later. Doug?
And Doug?
And hello, everyone. Doug Karmazin. I lead our travel, transportation, and hospitality solutions teams here at Salesforce, coming to you live from Chicago. Great to be here with everyone.
Thanks, Doug. All right. So here's what we're going to cover today. First, we look at the data, why so much of it is fragmented in hospitality, and what can be done about it. Then we'll move into how to actually make AI useful. And we'll show you a live demo of Agentforce in action, and we'll wrap it up with Q&As. We're hoping to have quite a lot of time for that, so we're hoping that you have some questions prepared for us. Now, both Hapi and Aquiva are public companies, but we have Doug from Salesforce with us today. And Salesforce is a public company, so just a quick reminder that any purchasing decisions should be made on currently available features and technology, and a full copy of Salesforce's forward-looking statement is available on the website. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Leo.
Thank you, Greg. A couple of disclaimers before I get started. Because I'm Cuban, I have a tendency to speak very quickly and also use my hands. I'm going to try to control those impulses as much as possible. I'm also having some slight bandwidth issues this morning, so I may have to go off camera if it causes issues during my presentation. So let's talk about Hapi. To give you some background, Hapi was founded in 2017 by some industry veterans who saw the need to simplify integrations in hospitality. They realized that there were significant barriers to creating and maintaining integrations between systems in order to maximize the value of the data stored there. Today, our staff of over 100 dedicated professionals with a combined 1,000 years of hospitality experience continue to explore ways to help our customers improve their bottom line and customer relationships. I want to start by looking at some of the fundamental challenges that we set out to solve at Hapi. Many of you here today understand the complexity of the hospitality technology landscape. For years, guest data has been trapped in silos in various systems like property management systems, spa booking systems, restaurant platforms, and others. This fragmentation makes it incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to get a true 360-degree view of the guest. This siloed data directly impacts your ability to deliver consistent, seamless brand experience. How can you recognize a loyal guest checking in if their profile data isn't readily available at the front desk? How can you personalize your marketing efforts if you don't have access to key guest information about their activities, past stay preferences, etc.? And let's not forget the significant cost burdens. Building and maintaining point-to-point integrations is expensive, time-consuming, and a constant drain on resources to keep them maintained. It also stifles innovation and prevents you from quickly adopting new technologies. Hapi was really born out of the recognition that solving these challenges was the key to unlocking some true value for hotel companies. Next slide, please. So today we're proud to say that over 14,000 hotels rely on Hapi to connect disparate systems and maximize the use of the data in CRM and marketing initiatives. Our solution begins with the Hapi platform. This is the engine that kind of powers everything that we do. At its core is the Hapi integration platform, or HIP. Think of HIP as like your central nervous system for data in the cloud. It connects all critical systems across the portfolio, your PMS, your F&B, spa, golf, and many others, to bring data into one central harmonized place. We've done the heavy lifting of building and maintaining the complex connectors to these various systems, abstracting away the technical debt. HIP uses a modern, simplified publish and subscribe architecture that ensures real-time data flow. This isn't about batch updates. It's about having the most current information available in real time. Working in concert with HIP as an option on the platform is the Hapi Data Platform, HDP. HDP takes the data that streams in through HIP, harmonizes it into consistent format, and makes it available for immediate use by storing it at rest. Some use cases are building custom solutions using your integrated harmonized data, reporting and analytics, etc. HDP is generally leveraged by our enterprise customers who have a need for custom solutions. In the diagram, you can kind of see how the whole ecosystem ties together. You have various systems on the left and data sources feeding into the integration platform. Inside the Hapi ecosystem, we've got various orchestrators, automations, and adapters. But what I want to stress here is the data flows through the integration platform, it's harmonized, and then it can stream in real time out to Hapi Guest and Salesforce for your CRM and marketing use cases. And the data platform, HDP, is what can be leveraged to create interesting new solutions in a standardized way. So if you think about it, if you want to create a new solution today, you got to connect to all these systems, get their data, harmonize it. With our solution, you have all that data already in a way that makes sense to you, so you can build solutions on top of it. And even if the core system changes something, we deal with it in our platform so that it's always up to date, minimizing your development costs. Next slide, please. I want to talk a little bit about the data model, which is kind of the foundation for what we do at Hapi. It's really the real power of the Hapi Guest solution. It's not just a generic CRM data model. It's purpose-built and standardized specifically for the complexities of hospitality. The model defines how we structure and relate critical guest information, basic profile details, preferences, reservations, past stay, loyalty information, activities. All of it is part of the data model. Why is this so important? The standardized data model provides an essential structure for consistency across the enterprise, regardless of where the data came from, what source system. It makes seamless integration possible because everyone is speaking the same language where the data is consumed, and the data model is predefined. Most importantly, it's a bedrock that enables all the rich functionality that you need to truly understand and engage with your guests, from building comprehensive profiles to generating powerful reports and analytics. The standardized data model and the real-time integrations powered by Hapi power our Hapi Guest CRM, and this is what will enable us to effectively unleash the power of AI across your enterprise in Salesforce. Next slide, please. Okay, so Hapi Guest for Salesforce. It builds on our foundation with HIP and our data model to give you really what is a purpose-built CRM in Salesforce for hospitality. This solution is directly available on the Salesforce App Exchange, and it's a native Salesforce application, which means it lives inside your Salesforce environment, leveraging all of the power of Salesforce that you've already invested in. Hapi Guest takes the real-time harmonized data from the Hapi platform, it gets streamed into Salesforce, and that creates a single source of truth, that unified golden guest profile you've always wanted. By being on Salesforce, you can immediately access industry-leading capabilities one of which we're here to talk about, Agentforce, for intelligent insights and automation. In addition to robust reporting, analytics, marketing cloud, service cloud, and loyalty cloud. In HapiGuest, we've also built some hospitality-specific features like advanced deduping logic, a global guest preference catalog to standardize preferences across your portfolio, codeless mapping tools for flexibility without custom development, and a single pane view of the guest for on-property staff to better anticipate and react to their needs. Next slide, please. So what does all this mean? What do we enable with all this stuff? Well, it really, at the end of the day, it allows you to consistently deliver those memorable moments that define true hospitality. With real-time profile data available, your staff can provide genuine guest recognition throughout the journey, whether it's a call center agent acknowledging guest loyalty status and answering questions about the reservation, to a front desk agent or a concierge knowing their preferences and itinerary at check-in. By having a single up-to-date centralized profile, you can truly deliver on your brand promise, ensuring consistency and accuracy in every interaction. For your marketing teams, this unlocks the ability to perform highly targeted marketing. No longer do you have to rely on generic blasts. You can now segment audiences based on rich profile attributes, past behaviors, stay history, and preferences to deliver relevant, impactful campaigns that truly resonate with your guests. Ultimately, this also leads to truly personalized offers and experiences. Imagine tailoring pre-arrival communications with relevant upsell opportunities based on past activities, or empowering on-property staff with insights to surprise and delight guests during their stay. Last but not least, leveraging the power of AI to unleash this data for many innovative use cases. HapiGuest provides the data and the tools within Salesforce to make this a reality. Next slide, please. As we look to the future, the opportunities to further enhance the guest experience through automation and artificial intelligence are immense. Imagine using Agentforce AI to predict guest needs, automate personalized responses, empower your guest staff with next best actions, or automate self-service use cases for guests like requesting a copy of their folio or even checking out. By providing a clean, harmonized, real-time stream of hospitality data within Salesforce, Hapi creates the foundation for these advanced AI and automation use cases. This is where our partnership with Aquiva comes in. Aquiva has deep expertise in leveraging AI and Agentforce and Salesforce to automate and drive business outcomes. Together, Hapi and Aquiva are uniquely positioned to help you explore and implement these exciting possibilities, taking the power of Agentforce to the next level and creating even more memorable moments for your guests. Thanks very much for joining. I'm going to hand it back to Greg now, where he's going to delve deeper into how Aquiva can leverage Agentforce and our data to deliver more connected experiences for you.
Thank you so much, Leo. And Leo already mentioned a couple of very powerful use cases, use cases that we actually work today with customers in the hospitality space. That will actually provide you with a couple of additional examples of how leaders in this space are leveraging Agentforce. But when it comes to our approach to Agentforce, it all really starts with clearly defining the use case and helping you plan ahead, starting with small MVPs and so pilot use cases, and then scaling for full rollout. But what I really wanted to do is take a step back for a second and actually try to tie back to what Leo was talking about from the data perspective. And I wanted to share a personal story. So back in March, I went to San Francisco for one of the large conferences that Salesforce organized called TDX. And I was staying at the hotel that I've used multiple times. It was the same brand, it was the same property. And yet, every time I check in, it's like they've never seen me before. And if your teams don't have the full picture, it really shows. So guests notice when they're treated like a booking ID instead of a person. The associates notice when they're stuck juggling these connected systems. The owners notice when they can't get a clear view of property performance. The planners really feel it when the group inquiries get stuck in email chains. And this is why, the premise of getting the data sorted first is so important, because, the opportunity here isn't really about leveraging more tech. It's about connecting what you already have. So every function operates off the same data. What we want to do is have guest profiles that really carry through the state, not just between the departments, but really across all the brands. We want the associates that are supported by guided workflows, that not guessing, but really thinking ahead. We want the ownership relationship managed with insights. We want group bookings planned with full visibility, loyalty offers that are made in real time and not weeks after the moment have passed. So this is the true value of connected systems, when everyone sees what matters and when it matters, when you have the 360 view of the guest that Leo was talking about. And Salesforce really makes that possible. The data comes together through Hapi, as Leo has discussed, and we as a system integrator can help you build the experience for how it works for your brand and your specific use cases. And look, the truth is that no one really wants to call a hotel 5 times, and I'm sure that your team doesn't want to answer the same question for the 100th time either. And AI agents, because this is what we're talking about here today, should make both of these things really easy. Because we're not simply automating, we're really making your people more effective. So done right, we're talking about handling repetitive, low-stake interactions up front really quickly and accurately. We're talking about being able to surface the right information when is the time for the human to step in, because we're not talking about only full automation, we're also talking about augmenting your team members. We're talking about having the access to the right data and knowledge so your teams, and by teams I mean both humans and actually AI agents today, as Salesforce is talking about the digital labor, can stay ahead. And the result is quite impressive. We're seeing organizations with service improvements because of the speed and the context they are building. We've seen massive productivity gains because your team spent less time firefighting and more time solving. So this isn't really AI gimmick. There's a lot of AI content online. This is an AI platform that is powering real change where your team can feel it most. So I would like to refer back to something that Leo has covered before. If your data is fragmented, your AI will be too. So data is really the first step here. And this is where hospitality often gets stuck, because there are often great ambitions, but the architecture underneath can't support it. And this is why a holistic platform approach is really important and really matters here, not simply as a technical decision, but really as an operational one. So when you're thinking about data flows, you want the data flow in between PMS, POS, CRM, and loyalty platforms, right? Salesforce really ties all of that together. You have one place where AI can act, where agents can operate, and where the entire operations can run. So you define the rules, the system enforces them, and the outputs aren't just insights, they are real actions. And if you do it right, again, the gains are massive. We're talking about loyalty that's personal. We're talking about service that can anticipate and not simply react. We're talking about ops that can run with less overhead and fewer blind spots. And finally, we're talking about teams that can collaborate across brands, across channels, across roles without friction. So that's really the power of Agentforce if you get the data right first. And this is what enables us to not only build the Guest 360 profile, but have that an additional enabler, that agentic layer that gets us a step further. And Doug will actually tell you a little bit more about specific use cases, and perhaps also share some examples of how Salesforce themselves have been powering some of the customer interactions with Agentforce. Doug, over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. Yeah, so from the Salesforce perspective, obviously, as you heard from Leo and Greg, it's really, really important to have that data that you're starting to create and generate across your companies, your organizations, and find ways to leverage that to better understand your guests. Obviously, at Salesforce, we've always talked about, having the customer at the center of everything you do. And that's even more important as we start to enter into this new world of having both human and kind of digital AI agents as a part of your workforce. We've been out kind of leading the charge on saying all of us here today on this call are probably one of the last generations to have just a human-only workforce. Going forward, we're going to start to see a lot more of these AI agents integrate into all sorts of businesses, not just in hospitality, but in lots of different areas. And it's really this combination of having both your human workforce and that digital workforce working together to reduce the more repetitive and regular requests that you might get from time to time. I know when I travel, I'm always asking that question of, does the property have a fitness center? Where is it located in the facility? These routine questions that sometimes can bog down the team are great for an AI agent to be able to handle and tackle, and are great kind of first MVP use cases like Greg mentioned. For us here at Salesforce, we're also putting this technology to use in our own kind of digital help center as well. So if you go to help.salesforce.com, you can see Agentforce live and in action. And so we've kind of pivoted our help center where you would go to get help about your Salesforce products or services that you might use with us. And traditionally, it was a regular kind of knowledge center where you'd look up knowledge articles and try and find the exact thing that you need help on. Today, we're using Agentforce to help have that conversation and help guide companies to get the support that they need. And we're seeing some great results. A big reduction in escalation to humans, as well as over kind of 85% of the conversations being resolved by Agentforce versus having to need to go to a case or get escalated to a human. Greg, if you want to go to the next slide. And so even though we're seeing great success with Agentforce and each week more and more people are kind of visiting the help center and using it, interacting with it, we went through a lot of trials and different ways to deploy it across just our own ecosystem. And one of those ways is all the different channels that you all are operating with today to better service your customers. It's not just about on property, but it's pre-trip and post-trip. It's across voice channels, it's across digital, texting and SMS, to web chat and even email. All of these are converging today and sometimes create a lot of complexity for organizations. But with the help of Hapi, being able to connect systems that you've invested in the data, and getting to work with Aquiva and Salesforce to kind of help you put it into a CRM to better know your guests. That's what we're working really hard on with a lot of clients right now, is how to merge all those different channels together to help create that kind of customer 360. And as we start to see companies build more agents, the benefits that we're working with customers on is around building that agent once, and you can then deploy it across the different channels that you're looking to deploy it in. So whether you create the agent initially for your website to help answer some general, pre-arrival questions or policies or FAQs, you can then use that same agent if you want to start to deploy in other channels like texting and SMS and even Instagram and WhatsApp. So it's really up to you and how your brands are interacting with your customers and your clients, and depending on what's most important for you. But know that, Salesforce working with the Hapi solutions and kind of connecting to all those data systems, because that's really important. It's being generated in a lot of different places, but it's important to get that all connected and integrated together. So there's a great use case there for why Hapi is so critical to that process. And Greg, if you want to go to the next one, that's really where we're kind of seeing ourselves in this journey. It's been an evolution, right? The large language models and AI kind of launched, 3 years ago. We see it so much in our personal consumer lives. But in the business world, as I kind of mentioned, we're in that middle step where we're starting to see lots of companies, whether it's OpenTable for dining reservations, Finnair, who's an airline. And we've got several other hospitality customers who are deploying agents in specific areas, which I can't disclose on the webinar, but we're happy to talk with you offline about it more. In that agents and humans working together. And so how do you have, again, a platform that allows you to be able to take advantage of deploying your human resources in those high touch, white glove, or premier loyalty experiences, and help to get these artificial AI agents working for you in those more repetitive questions or FAQ and policy questions that you might have. So again, we're going to continue to see this trend emerge and change over time. But know that obviously the parties here on this call are ready and willing to kind of work with you and help you kind of get started. And so that's what I want to do, is kind of take us through a little bit of a demonstration of just what could this look like, and what do agents kind of look like across a hospitality example. So let me just go ahead and share, and I will pull this up. So we're going to start with a fictitious company that we've created here called Polonia Hotels and Resorts. This is a high-end resort company. And I just want to get a quick check, just a thumbs up. You guys can see this landing page here for the Polonia Resorts. Yep, awesome. Again, think of this as just a high-end luxury hotel property. And this, maybe they have several properties around the globe or around a specific, regional location. So Salesforce has been helping companies do this and connect and create kind of experiences like this digitally as well. And also know that as you start to look at artificial intelligence and deploying AI, as Greg mentioned earlier, what are some of those first MVP use cases? The first ones that are we're seeing the most is really deploying these agents digitally on a landing page like this, or an experience site, or your own .com site that you might have. And so we can work with kind of the chat and digital channels to help customers. But you can also do it where your customers, if you have a branded website where you request them to log in and get authenticated. So in this case here, we have Adam Mercer, who's from Colorado, who's looking for a trip to take to Hawaii. And he wants some help in his search. He's found maybe a property that he's looking at, but wants to ask a few additional questions. So we can kind of deploy these types of agents into the website and do that here. So I just want to zoom in so you guys can see this a little bit easier. And really, Adam's not really sure what he's kind of looking at. So he wants to know what type of hotels does the property have within Hawaii. And so we can start to have a conversation with these agents, and it can give really descriptive information about your properties. And this can come from a variety of sources, right? So that Hapi can help you kind of connect to that data if it's in different applications. But this is just general, information about the properties as well. Because Adam is kind of logged in, he wants to know, based on his loyalty points that he has, is there a way to, what types of properties have availability? Could I book potentially at one of these resorts? Now, this is moving into that more complex use case where you really have to be authenticated. You have to know about the customer. You have to know about their loyalty program and have that linked. But you absolutely could do that as well. The nice part about the artificial intelligence agents versus traditional chatbots is if you kind of zig or zag a little bit in the conversation, and we're looking at really our Aura agent here giving a response back to Adam about there is a property in Hawaii. Here's some possible dates for you to look at. What if I wanted to ask about, are there any loyalty promotions right now? And we could kind of ask this question. We haven't fully booked. We're asking if we want to go ahead and book this stay, but we could ask it a totally different question, kind of off topic. That's really where Agentforce comes in, the reasoning engine to be able to look at different contexts of the question that you're asking, as well as look at related knowledge articles or possibly even loyalty information that's out there available about the guest. So you can see here too that Aura comes back with a response that there are a couple of loyalty promotions that are running right now. Here's what you could potentially take advantage of. And it's very, very helpful for a guest to be able to get that type of information. What I'll say too briefly is working with lots of clients, not only in the hospitality space, but in travel and other subsectors in the industry. The first place really to start, this is exciting to see all of this happen, and be able to give a customer this type of personalized recommendation for a booking at your property. A lot of times we're seeing customers start with that really entry-level use case of like frequently asked questions based on your property's knowledge and information. And a lot of times it's unauthenticated users, right? This is knowing a lot about Adam and his profile with Polonia, but where to get started is really to look at deploying it in a safe space where it's really just giving general information about the property, about your policies and information. So it's not usually the perfect subscription of what you need to take for your organizations, but it's a great place to get started or to think about as well. What I also want to do is just kind of briefly show you an example too that Leo was talking about before, about getting to that point where if you needed help and you needed to escalate to a human, the great part about Salesforce is that in that conversation or that exchange with the AI agent, we can easily start to transfer over to a human. We can escalate it because it's all on the same platform within Salesforce. We can do that. So we're looking at inside of Salesforce now from more of a CRM perspective. And you can start to do lots of things inside of Salesforce to really get to know Adam and more about him. So this is where Leo kind of talked about connecting those systems in to get all the critical information about Adam and create that kind of 360 profile, as well as kind of seeing past cases or requests that he may have had about one of his stays or an upcoming stay or questions, as well as that reservation data that he has for kind of upcoming reservations or past reservations that he might have on the property. And so all of this starts to come together and help you create either calculated insights or prediction scores or recommendations to just know, even as Greg mentioned, have you visited our property before, right? Being able to see that information, thank someone for their loyalty. And that's very, very important. So you can start to build that type of 360 preferences and other amenities and itinerary features that you can start to build inside of Salesforce and create that really transactional history of all the things that the guest is doing while they're on their stay, as they're planning, for their stay or maybe after stay as well. So these are all just ideas of things that, are possible out there inside of the Salesforce ecosystem, and things to consider as you start to plan that journey into either creating that guest 360 or starting to look at different ways with artificial intelligence and AI and Agentforce. So just wanted to share a little bit of that and just kind of show that and give a quick demonstration of what could be here out for you all. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing. Greg, I think I'll kind of turn it back over to you if that's okay. And
sounds good.
Yeah.
Doug, thank you so much for an amazing demo. You might have seen on the second screen, there was a small Einstein icon at the top. So the experience you've seen actually from the guest perspective, you can have that augmented AI perspective from, I don't know, think about, for example, a concierge experience, right? Someone comes in and you want very quickly to summarize all the records, the previous reservations. That's all possible. And for the slightly more technical audience here today, I'm super excited with some of the most recent innovations. Now the number of channels is really limitless. We're talking about SMS messenger communications. You can invoke Agentforce through Apex and flows. There is so many things we can now do with Agentforce. As mentioned, we've actually done a lot of work with customers, have over 30 examples of actions we've built. Happy to walk you through some of them. Just to very briefly summarize before we steer into the Q&A session, I hope that you've seen the importance of, first of all, data today. So your data, if your data is connected and usable, you can unlock that 360 view of the guest. If you need the platform that is scalable, secure, and flexible enough to meet the real-world hospitality needs, and of course your team needs to have the tools that are built for them, not for someone else's use cases. And this is where the three of us really come in together. So Hapi gives you the clean integration with the systems you already rely on. Salesforce gives you the flexibility to build for service, for loyalty, for ownership, for events, and have all the data in one place. And we at Aquiva can make it work for you exactly how your business operates and tailor it for your specific use cases. So if you have all of that, that's a real differentiator. Some of our customers use it to drive better guest experiences, others use it to run leaner ops, and the best actually do both. So the number of opportunities is really limitless. Let's see if we have any questions already.
We do have one. Robert, I think, asked a good question on how does Aura respond to questions when information for the answer is not available? So I could help with that, Greg, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a great question, Robert. If it doesn't have the information available to it, what the AI agent and most AI agents are going to do is try and steer the conversation back to a series of topics that it is responsible and assigned to be able to help with. So the interesting part here is you get to define specifically what this digital AI agent is assigned and approved to work on, just like a human would as well. You're giving it specific set tasks, and we use a word called topics to describe that inside of Agentforce. So if it goes off topic or asks about something that is not related to the conversation or to help it with a guest or a property question or an FAQ, there is kind of a menu that I breezed over very quickly in the demo, but it does give the person engaging with the agent like a list of things it can help with. And certainly it'll try and steer it back to an on-topic conversation that it can have with the guest. So in most cases, it's going to try and just gear them back towards that. But as I mentioned, if for some reason the guest is having trouble saying, hey, you're not understanding me, I really need some help, that's where a great part with Salesforce and Service Cloud, you can escalate to a human and really get over to somebody immediately to be able to respond to that more complex question or topic that they might be asking about. So great question.
That was a very specific question. For those of you that may not be familiar with Agentforce and the overall architecture, at the very high level, if you're thinking about how Agentforce works, you have a set of agents that have topics. Think of topics as your key jobs to be done. The topics would have a set of instructions, and those instructions would have a set of actions. We've got another question from Jen, actually two questions. Can you tell us which systems are fully integrated with Salesforce that would enable these use cases? For example, FDT members are in the PMS. Are you saying that agents built in Salesforce are able to be opened within the PMS? And part two, or if the guest is calling in asking about rooms, you need to be transitioned to a human. What systems are being used to make this happen if a hotelier isn't using Salesforce as the call center? There's a lot here. I can start, and I think both Leo and Doug, you can chime in. So our assumptions here, and this is how we've actually worked with Hapi, is that Hapi brings all the data to Salesforce, right? So you would have your PMS data available in Salesforce, and because of that, all those experiences can actually be available from Salesforce or powered through Salesforce technology like Experience Cloud. Leo, Doug, would you like to chime in here?
I mean, in the first part of the question, it's, are we able to open the agents within the PMS? I think that's something that can be investigated on a case-by-case basis. But generally, it's up to the PMS vendor to partner with us on anything like that. And I'll let Doug or Greg answer the second part of the question.
Yeah, and to add to what Leo kind of said there, the systems which we would integrate with, I think Hapi's got a great inventory to help you all with that, right? They've done a great job of connecting to most of all the hospitality platforms I know we've worked with our clients with in the hotelier industry. So I think if it's PMS systems or Oracle Opera Cloud or Amadeus or whatnot, Hapi's going to have a great ability to get that data into Salesforce. As well as having the PMS system up for the front desk agents or for those on property. Even too, Hapi's got ways where you can kind of put that happy guest, ribbon to the side. You can do that too with Salesforce. So it just totally depends on where you're at in your journey and what information you're looking to expose to on property, front desk agents or concierge agents, et cetera. And then the question on like transitioning to a human. Yes, if you're looking to do that, the example that I showed you was really that was an Experience Cloud website, that Polonia Resorts website that you saw. So that's just kind of using our basic Experience Cloud builder to kind of build a website there. So that's one thing potentially you would need. But if you've got .com sites or resources, you can put that little chat feature into your existing digital brand .com sites and property sites as well. But the escalate to a human was showing a bit more with kind of a Service Cloud footprint from Salesforce. Certainly we're integrating and working with lots of different telephony providers for voice if it's that type of channel. But Salesforce offers our own kind of digital channels there as well. So would have to be unique based on what you're looking to do in your scenario, but lots of potential options there. Yeah.
I see a question from Robert. Can Hapi work with different PMS vendors across a corporate environment? The answer is yes. And we have some customers doing that today. We have a variety of connections to various PMSs already available out of the box, and the data streaming and harmonized in the Hapi platform. So it doesn't matter if one hotel is using PMS A and another one's using PMS B. The data flows through the Hapi platform and is harmonized and standardized in the CRM.
An additional point, even though this wasn't a question from data perspective, Leo, I know that Hapi today also works with Data Cloud, which actually unlocks a number of additional use cases if we're thinking about working both with structured and unstructured data and how all of that is actually leveraged in the context of Agentforce.
Yeah, we've actually got some backlog that we're developing on Data Cloud to develop and deliver a standardized kit that's based on the Hapi guest data model that our customers can get out of the box to get them started, and then leverage the power of Data Cloud connections to augment that with other data.
Great. Let's see if we have any other questions. Going very quickly to check the chat as well. I think that's it, and we bang on time. But if you do have any further questions, please reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to answer them. So with that, thank you so much for finding the time to join us today. I hope you enjoyed this short presentation and the demo. This session has been recorded if you want to share it with your colleagues. And we're looking forward to continuing the conversations with you one-to-one. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.